Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilma. Quote of the day. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go by Rumi. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Sadia Rafiq and under the supervision of Professor Dr. Sara Afzal, today my topic of presentation is Introduction to Nutrition and Proteins. Learning outcomes includes introduction to nutrition, macronutrients, micronutrients, proteins, recent updates, and multiple choice questions. Learning outcome. At the end of these presentations, participants would be able to describe nutrition and protein. Starting with nutrition. According to WHO, nutrition is a critical part of health and development. Better nutrition is related to improved infant, child, and maternal health, stronger immune systems, safer pregnancies and childbirth, low risk of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, and longevity. Nutrition is defined as the science of food and its relationship to health. It is concerned primarily with the part played by nutrients in body growth, development, and maintenance. Nutrient or food factor is used for specific dietary constituents. Dietetics is the practical application of the principles of nutrition. It includes the planning of meals for the well and the sick. Classification of the food by origin. It is of animal origin or vegetable origin. And the classification of the chemical composition includes the proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals. Classification of the nutrients includes the macronutrients and the micronutrients. Macronutrients, these are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, which are often called proximate principles because they form the main bulk of the food. Micronutrients, they are called micronutrients because they are required in small amount, may vary from a fraction of milligrams to several grams, for example, vitamins and minerals. It is a document of Government of Pakistan, which is Pakistan's dietary guidelines for better nutrition. In these guidelines are comprehensive country-specific guidelines for the general public to adopt healthy eating practices, prevent and reduce the risk of infections and chronic diseases. The guidelines are simple to adopt, provide age and gender appropriate and culturally acceptable options to choose nutritional foods. You can see it is my plate, which includes the vegetables, fruits, meat, pulses, cereals, etc., milk and dairy. My plate. You can see this picture. There are different portions of the food and the dairy. What is my plate? My Plate is a nutritional food guide developed by the US Department of Agriculture to help Americans become more aware of what they eat and to assist them in making better food choices. As the My Plate icon shows, the 5 food groups are fruits, vegetables, grains, protein foods, and dairy. Healthy eating plates, also recommended by Harvard Medical School, which includes that the portion in which quantity you should eat, the one plate, the vegetables you can see, the maximum, then the fruits, then the whole grains, and the healthy proteins, including water, drinking water, tea, and coffee, using healthy oils, and to stay active. Then the kids' healthy eating plate. It is a visual guide to help educate and encourage children to eat well and keep moving. At a glance, the graphic features examples of best choices food to inspire the selection of healthy meals and snacks, and it emphasizes physical activity as a part of equation of staying healthy. You can see it is the kids' healthy plate eating. It is also being recommended by Harvard Medical School. You can see the whole grains like bread, that the healthy proteins, chicken and fish and nuts, then the fruits, pears, apples, and strawberries, and the vegetables, mushrooms, and the healthy oils, water, dairy, and you should stay active. Healthy Living Guide 2021-22 say that one should eat good food, which is anti-inflammatory diets, then they should move, have physical activity, yoga or HIIT training, and should have a sleep sound. And the Healthy Living Guide includes all of these things. Now moving towards the proteins. Protein is a complex nutrient essential to many important functions of the body. Protein needs can be met by eating variety of food sources. If we see the food pyramid, they are in the base of the pyramid, the colorful fruits and vegetables. Then here comes the proteins, then the grains, and the top of the hierarchy is the herbs, spices, and the healthy oils. Protein is an energy yielding nutrient composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Differs from carbohydrate and fats because of the presence of nitrogen. The body has at least 30,000 types of proteins, each with a different job. The building blocks of all protein molecules are amino acids. Denaturation. The protein we consume can be altered and changed, but can never return to its initial form. This is called denaturation. This can be seen when you add heat to an egg. It changes from a running fluid to a solid mass. The shapes of the protein molecules in these foods have changed. You can see the albumin, and at the end of the picture, you can see it is all like this. Factors that causes it are the heat, acids, bases, and alcohol. Moving towards the building block of proteins, which are amino acids. There are 20 different types of amino acids that create different combinations for specific functions in the body. DNA provides instructions from how the amino acid will be linked to form the proteins in your body. Types of amino acids. One is dispensable amino acids. Your body can produce this at your own. Your body can synthesize 11 of the amino acids from the other amino acids. Second group is dispensable amino acids. These are the remaining 9 amino acids which must come from your diet. They're also called essential amino acids. So these are the 9 amino acids. These are essential because the body cannot synthesize them in amounts corresponding to its needs, and therefore they must be obtained from dietary proteins. You need all the amino acids to make the proteins your body needs for good health. Talking about the amino acids, it's just the names of the essential and non-essential amino acids. Essential are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine. And the non-essential, which are alanine, arginine, asparagine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine, tyrosine, and tyrosine. So you can see these are the essential. These are required in our food. Quality of protein. The quality of the protein is determined by its ability to provide the 9 essential amino acids. Proteins from the animal sources like eggs, dairy, meat, poultry, and fish, and 1 vegetable protein, soy, are all considered high quality because they all contain essential amino acids in the necessary proportions. If we see the proteins in the body, you can see the huge bulk, which is muscle. It is made up of proteins, required proteins, then bone, skin, and other glands, nerve, and tissues. So you can see how much proteins are required, are essential for our body. What are the functions of the proteins? They build and maintain tissue. Protein makes up 18 to 20% of your body. It is a necessary part of every cell, muscle, organ, skin, blood, hair, nails, and every other part. Skeleton muscles account for more than half of the body proteins. Then make important compounds to make protein, enzymes, some hormones, and antibodies, which are used for the immune system. Then they regulate mineral and water fluid balance. Because the proteins carry the minerals sodium and potassium from one side of the cell wall to the other, because those are the required for the balance of the fluid inside and outside the cell. Then to maintain acid-base balance, carry vital substances like iron and multiple nutrients and fats in it. The use of transport lipoproteins, iron and other nutrients, as well as oxygen, chromosomes, and other bundles of protein to other parts of the cell, and then to provide energy. It provides the cells with the energy they need to exist. If carbs and fats are lacking, the body uses proteins as an energy source. You can see when we consume proteins by the process of digestion, they are broken down into peptides and amino acids. And then after the absorption in the blood, it is in the form of the amino acids. They are stored in the fat along with glucose. And when the body requires, it yields energy plus urea, which is nitrogen. And it helps amino acid helps when the body proteins, muscles, internal organs, bones, and enzymes, hormones, and the antibodies. So again, these are the proteins provide many essential functions in the body. As we have seen, the digestive enzymes support the regulation, especially DNA, RNA, antibody immune system, then the support muscle contraction and movement provides support to the body, hormones help coordinate body function and move essential molecules around the body. So proteins are present in the body. They are in the form of amino acids and they help to get infections, fight infections, and help cell division. You can see it's amino acid. Health benefits of proteins: muscle development, help with bone metabolism, control sugar levels, slow down aging process, prevent hair damage, help maintain an ideal weight, prevent heart-related disease, improve immune system, help in hormones, and make skin healthy. How much proteins are required? As protein is not stored in the body, quantity depends upon the age, gender, body size, and the state of the health. When increased muscle mass is not the goal, large amount of extra proteins are not required. Supplements to increase intake may have more harmful effects than benefits. Protein is commonly overconsumed. Too much proteins from artificial sources may be harmful. Stick to natural sources so that the body may easily achieve its peak performance. Top 10 food highest in proteins, as you can see: lean chicken breast, lean pork chops, tuna, beef, firm tofu, lentils, low-fat yogurt, grated parmesan, squash and pumpkin seeds, and the eggs. These are the highest protein content in these food. Who needs more proteins? Growing youth and teens, pregnant and breastfeeding women, teen and adults male, individual with lean muscles, large tall person in comparison to small short person, ill and injured people to build antibodies and rebuild damaged tissue. Talking about the balanced diet, a balanced diet is that which have carbohydrates 60 to 65%, fats 20 to 25%, and the proteins which are 10 to 20%. In balanced diet, one should avoid dehydration, consume low-fat sources of proteins, and use low-fat cooking methods, which include the grilling, baking, or poaching. Do athletes need more proteins? The answer is more muscle doesn't automatically require more protein. Most athletic activities require higher levels of energy, which requires more carbohydrates for energy to spare proteins to build and repair muscles. Low-intensity sports like running need less compared to high-intensity sports like strength training. In weightlifting, more proteins will help improve muscle mass. Then the people's protein choices. The factors which influence people's protein choices are the availability, cost, health concerns, food preferences, religious beliefs, environmental factors. Protein sources. Proteins in the diet can be provided from both animal and plant sources. So the animal sources of protein, the largest protein, especially in US, is beef, veal, pork, lamb, poultry, and fish. Others are the eggs, milk, yogurt, and cheese. Average American consumes 200 pounds of meat, poultry, and seafood annually. Meat is an excellent source of proteins but can be high in fat. The same is true for dairy. 57% of the calories in ground beef come from fat, which are mostly saturated, and there's no fiber. And it's considerably more expensive. Plant sources of the proteins can be found in grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Legumes capture nitrogen, making them more protein dense. Peanuts like peanuts, black-eyed peas, kidney beans, black beans, lentils, chickpeas, and lima beans. Soya beans are a type of legumes that can be converted to form different type of food products, and it can be basically used as a meat alternative. Soya milk can be used, tofu can be used. These are all the products by soya bean. These you can see the top 10 sources of vegetable proteins in both pictures is a spinach, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, mushroom, parsley, cucumber, green pepper, cabbage, tomatoes, beef. And you can see protein in meats. These are the all example. How much protein? You can see the number of in 2 eggs boiled. There's 13.2 grams of proteins in it. Then you can see tuna and then the salmon, the different things are being written. So simple, 2 eggs, 13.8. You can see in 100 gram steak, there's 32.1 grams of proteins. Nitrogen balance. Comparison of the nitrogen a person consumes with the nitrogen he or she excretes. Protein is the only energy nutrient that provides nitrogen. If you see what is nitrogen equilibrium, excretes the same amount that is taken in, positive negative is equal, then the positive nitrogen balance builds new tissue, takes in more than is excreted, and the negative nitrogen balance tissues are deteriorating. So example is body is wasting due to the starvation. So the normal use of proteins in and out is equal, High use of proteins is nitrogen taken is more, nitrogen excess usually occurs during pregnancy and high growth periods, and the body is undersupplied with proteins when there is negative nitrogen balance. More nitrogen is excreted, usually during fasting, certain diseases, injuries, and wounds. Protein deficiency and overconsumption. Excess proteins in diet. Most people in US are guilty of this. Women eat almost 1.5 times to the recommended dietary allowance, and the men eat nearly twice the RDA. Lack of education about protein needs. It could be the main one of the cause of consuming more proteins. When you consume excessive proteins, liver and kidney problems produce an overabundance of nitrogen waste. Body must excrete this waste because it builds up to toxic levels. Liver turns nitrogen waste into urea. Kidneys are then responsible for excreting through urine. Extra work on the liver and kidneys creating stress and aging. And secondly, there's a calcium loss. Diet high in protein from animals contributes to calcium loss in the bones. And there's excessive body weight as well. Protein deficiency. Deficiency means shortage. Deficiency disease, sickness caused by lack of essential nutrients. Population fighting poverty. Deficiency is not uncommon. So 6 warning signs of protein deficiency are puffy cheeks, swollen eyes, swollen abs, thinning hair, brain fog, lethargic attitude, dry and flaky skin. Protein energy malnutrition. According to WHO, protein energy malnutrition refers to an imbalance between the supply of protein and energy and the body's demand for them to ensure optimal growth and function. This is the picture. You can see the prevalence of the protein energy malnutrition. Its dark green is less than 5%, and it is more of the area of the world. PM is classified as 1 or 2 syndrome, which is marasmus and Kwashiorkor, depending on the presence or absence of edema. Each type can be classified as acute or chronic. Additionally, marasmus can produce Kwashiorkor. Many patients exhibit symptoms of both disease states. If we see the protein energy malnutrition, marginal energy but insufficient protein intake leads to Kwashiorkor, the disease that the first child gets when the new child comes. It is the insufficient protein energy take, which is marasmus, to waste away or dying away. More clear in this picture, you can see the differences between the Kwashiorkor and marasmus comparison table. This is the child with Kwashiorkor, pubic belly, itchy rash, cirrhosis, poor wound healing. So it develops in children whose diets are deficient of protein, occurs between 6 months to 3 years, subcutaneous fat is preserved, edema is present, one of the demarcating features. A large fatty liver, ribs are not prominent, lethargic, muscle wasting, mild or absent, poor appetite. The person suffering from Kwashiorkor needs adequate amount of proteins. As compared to marasmus, you can see prominent bone, decrease in subcutaneous fats, and loose skin. It is due to deficiency of proteins and calories. It is only due to proteins. Common in infants under 1 year of age, subcutaneous fat and edema is absent, no fatty liver, ribs are prominent, alert and irritable, severe muscle wasting, and voracious feeder. The person suffering from marasmus needs adequate amount of protein, fats, and carbohydrate because it is deficient in all nutrients. And in this case, it is deficient only of proteins. So what about protein powders? Powdered proteins can come from a variety of sources, including eggs, milk, which is casein and whey, and plants, soybean, peas, and hemp. Some protein powders contain proteins from multiple sources. For example, vegan options might include protein from peas, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and alfalfa. Like other dietary supplements, protein powders are not regulated by US Foods and Drug Administration for safety. They can often contain non-protein ingredients, including vitamin and mineral, thickeners, added sugar, non-caloric sweeteners, and artificial flavoring. If you choose to consume protein powder, it is important to read the nutritional and ingredient labels beforehand, as products may contain unexpected ingredients and large amount of added sugars and calories. Protein recommendation. How much protein should I need? The National Academy of Medicine recommends that adults get a minimum of 0.8 grams of proteins for every kilogram of body weight, or just over 7 grams for 20 pounds of body weight. So for a 140%, the mean about 50 grams of protein, and for 200-pound person, 70 grams of proteins is required each day. Protein quality. Protein digestibility, corrected amino acid score, PDCAC, measures protein quality based on human essential amino acid requirements and our ability to digest it. The test portion is compared to the standard amino acid profile and is given a score from 0 to 1, with the score of 1 indicating maximum amino acid digestibility. Evaluation protein quality with PDCA approach measures the protein's metabolic effectiveness at a dietary intake that meets minimum requirements. To be considered a high quality or complete protein, a protein must contain all essential amino acids. One thing should be remembered, the meaning of high quality or a complete protein means having all essential amino acids which are not made by the body, which we need from the food or building blocks of protein in the right proportion and be safely digested. Evaluation of protein is done by the amino acid content, digestibility coefficient, biological value, net protein utilization, and protein energy ratio. So the protein quality comparison to the reference protein, which is usually the egg protein. This thing is to important point. For the quality protein quality one, we should have a reference protein. And for the reference protein, we use egg protein. So the method of assessment of protein qualities are the amino acid score, which is concentration of each essential amino acid in the test protein expressed as a percentage of the amino acid to the reference protein. Then the digestibility coefficient, proportion of food protein which is absorbed, which is digested. Then the biological value is the percentage of absorbed nitrogen which is retained in the body. Then the net protein utilization, it is for the protein quality. It measures percent of dietary protein retained in the body. Since NPU considers digestibility, it is a better estimate for protein quality. Now, the protein quantity. It is by protein energy ratio, which measures body weight gain per unit of protein consumed. So, protein quantity is evaluated by protein energy ratio. How to measure protein? It is a serum albumin concentration, which should be more than 3.5 gram per deciliter. Research on protein and health. Available evidence indicates that it is the source of protein rather than the amount of protein that likely makes a difference for our health. Healthy eating sources like beans, nuts, fish, or poultry's place of red meat and processed meat can lower the risk of several diseases and premature deaths. Nutrition programs in Pakistan. Many nutrition programs have been initiated by government and non-government organizations, which are described. Number school health program, micronutrient initiative, vitamin D, A&D in oil, wheat with iron, zinc, folic acid, and vitamin B12, national programs for family planning, primary healthcare, and Tawana Pakistan project. Talking about the school health program. It is a strategic approach for improving health and education in Pakistan. It is a unique health education program for children as it focuses on children while involving the parents and teachers in the behavior change processes, efficacy on physical activity, dietary behaviors, and cardiometabolic parameters. Tawana Pakistan project. The goals of TPP are reduce gender and social inequalities, increase enrollment and retention, reduce absenteeism of girls, improve the nutrition status of girls in primary school and community, provide access to safe water and sanitation facilities, organize communities into school nutrition committee comprising of teachers, parents, and students. Recent updates. It is the National Nutrition Survey 2018 key finding reports of National Health Services. In this, you can raise the prevalence of malnutrition under 5. It is 42 points are stunted, 17 points are wasted, 28.9% were underweight, and 9.5% were the overweight. And then the UNICEF for Average and Humanitarian Actions for the Children in Pakistan. You can see UNICEF is also responding to the chronic nutrition emergency with curative and preventive life-saving services, including community management of acute malnutrition, maternal, infant and young children health, and infant and young children feeding services. It is a Pakistan Maternal Nutrition Strategy 2022 to 27. Maternal nutrition is the cornerstone of maternal childhood and needs special focus and attention to prevent stunting and wasting among children. The highlights of this strategy was formulated with the goal to protect and promote diets, practices, and services that support the optimal nutrition, health, and well-being of all women in Pakistan. The following objectives are to prevent undernutrition, anemia, micronutrient deficiencies, and being overweight among girls, focusing on pregnant breastfeeding women and low birth weight is newborn. To provide evidence-based and quality-based nutrition programs and services at scale to women with a focus on the preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum periods. So this is, you can see the food agriculture dashboard quarter of March 22. All the individuals which are being the donor organizations, number 7, and what the type of initiative they done, the maximum was done with the food distribution. This is the data available from all over the Pakistan. So, and then the nutrition for WHO in COVID-19, they have given the guidelines regarding pandemic for governments during the COVID-19 pandemic for government, for food business, health workers, and general public to maintain good health and prevent malnutrition in all its form. Then it is American Guidelines 2025, because every bite counts with the dietary guidelines. These guidelines are designed for policy making and nutrition and health professionals to help all individuals and then family consume a healthy, nutritionally adequate diet. So again, one of the article in the about Pakistan, it shows the prevalence of malnutrition. It is severe malnutrition, 37%, properly nourished for 38%, and with moderate acute malnutrition, 24%. Absence of formal education, big family size, late and early weaning, absence of exclusive breastfeeding, poverty were the factors associated with undernutrition in children. They could cause increase in undernutrition for if not improved. So talking about the SDG 2, which is end hunger, achieve food security, improves nutrition, and promotes sustainable agriculture. The VN is by 2030, a world free from malnutrition in its all form. You can see it's moving towards up, and the goal is to achieve all the SDGs, second SDG by 2030. And it is again the Pakistan Multi-Sector Nutritional Strategy 18 to 25, and it's to provide the nutritional service delivery packages and to work greatly on the nutrition in Pakistan. Pakistan continues to improve nutrition through governance, advocacy, policy support, programs, fortification, evidence generation, and innovation. This includes intervention to treat acute malnutrition and prevent stunting in children under 5, working with the national and professional fortification alliances to push towards the forward the rice and chakiata flour fortification agenda and promoting innovative approaches, including the stunting prevention model. Now moving towards the MCQs. A food pyramid is a representation of the optimal number of serving to be eaten each day for each of the basic food group. Base of the food pyramid is made up of sugars, fats and oils, proteins and starches.
D.
Yes, D is the correct answer, starches. A balanced diet is a diet that contains different kinds of food in certain quantities and proportions. Percentage of proteins in balanced diets is 10 to 20%, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50.
B.
No, the correct answer is A. It is 10 to 20%. Remaining are half major chunk, and then fats, and then last is the protein. Practice of mixing different classes of dietary proteins so that the deficits in one of them are balanced by the surplus in the other is called protein quality, protein digestibility, protein complementation, nitrogen balance.
C.
Yes, C is the correct. Protein complementation. If an essential amino acid that is needed by cell to make a particular protein is unavailable in the body pool, the cell will omit that amino acid from the protein, substitute a similar amino acid, break down body fat to obtain its synthesis of the amino acid.
C.
C, break down body protein to obtain it. A 9 months irritable child come from the healthcare facility with failure to thrive, chronic diarrhea, loss of subcutaneous fat. On further inquiry, physicians come to know that child has 6 siblings, mother is uneducated, is bottle fed. What is the most probable diagnosis? Kwashiorkor, marasmus, overnutrition, vitamin A deficiency.
B.
Yes, marasmus. Tawana Pakistan project is for girls in rural community. Which of the following is not a goal of this program? Reduce gender and social inequalities, reduce absenteeism of girls, improve the nutritional status of girls, provide access to safe water and sanitation facilities, stopping teenage marriages.
E.
Yes, E. School health program of Pakistan was launched in 2005. It is helped to improve health and well-being of students. Which statement is not true regarding school health program? Nutrition counseling is done, deworming of students, training of teachers to treat reflective errors and provide midday meal.
B.
C is the correct answer, training of teachers to treat reflective errors. A researcher wants to compare amino acid contents of the wheat with reference value. Sorry, in the last option, the correct one is B, the deworming of the student. A researcher wants to compare amino acid content of the wheat with reference value. The reference value is used as amino acid content of beef, chicken, egg, or pulses.
C.
Egg protein is always used as a reference value. A 3 years old child came with pitting edema and large abdomen, looked lethargic and has poor wound healing. Mother gives history of child eats junk food only and hardly eat persists meat or rice. What is the most appropriate diagnosis? Kwashiorkor, marasmus, overnutrition, vitamin A deficiency.
A.
A is the correct answer. A teenager is concerned about his diet. He went to nutrition who counseled him that his food should include vegetables, fruits, cereal, proteins, and dairy in the appropriate amount for good health and well-being. This is a concept of my plate, nutritional fortification, context examination, and growth chart.
A.
My plate, yes. This is the key. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sadia. Very good presentation, especially you have added many new points in your presentation. And I really appreciate that you have talked about that we are at certain places using more proteins than the RDAs, recommended daily allowances. And we at the other places, there is a malnutrition and especially protein energy malnutrition. Another important thing is we know that there is an increasing trend of using protein powders that are very rich in salts and sugars. So these trends in use of protein powders cannot replace the importance of the food that are good in protein content. As you have shown about the digestibility and digestive indices, and also about the reference protein, that is the egg protein. So this natural source of protein, the best is still the egg protein. And we know that albumin in egg protein, that is the most digestible form of the protein that is available on earth. Moreover, you have wonderfully described the recent advances and have linked different models, especially the plate model, with the requirements that are for our body, for proper growth, for replacement of the cells, for repair, and for well-being. So very well done. I hope, yes, everybody has learned a lot from this presentation. See you next time. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Ms. Allah Hafiz.